So we're in Fresno, California. We just finished installing a fill valve in this toilet here, and it's the Fluid Master, the 400A. We buy these in bulk from Home Depot. Anyways, there's your old fill valve. You know, all the screeching happens up in the, it's like a vacuum breaker that sits up in the very top of the unit right here. So right in there, it's a little rubber piece that sits in there, and sometimes it gets debris in. Sometimes you get, you know, the rubber gets worn away and it just screams. So every time you flush it, it starts to fill. You get a high-pitched noise. Anyway, so brand new fill valve in there, and it says we went ahead and adjusted it so it's filling correctly. So there's a brand new one sitting in there, and so we've got it filling up. You can see the fill tube right there is a little, it's actually a larger diameter at the very top, and that water sits below. It's about a ½ inch lower than the fill valve. That's where it wants to shut off at. We did note that your flapper is about done. Might last for a while, but once that goes away, you know, it's recessing and concaving, or convexing, concaving. It's collapsing into the hole, and that will allow water to go by, and it'll activate the fill valve again, and you'll hear that filling throughout the day intermittently. So that there's, you know, you can order one of those from Amazon, just have them deliver it to your door and just replace it. Try and get one with a rigid stem, so where it mounts to the flush valve down there's two little tabs. Get the hard plastic where it mounts because it pivots real nice. If you get the rubber ones, sometimes they flex and the flapper doesn't open up correctly. So anyways, that was good. When we went to take this apart, we had the old Strout integrated supply line. It's a corrugated chrome tubing here, and or stainless steel tubing, and we don't like these at all. This little gasket right here, it just threads onto there, and then you screw the nut down, and it's supposed to hold. Don't like it, don't use them. We replace these. We used to use these in the early 90s. I worked for another company, and so anyways, we talked at home and they said, yeah, go ahead and replace it, so we'll bill you for that separately. Anyway, so that's in there, brand new shutoff valve, quarter turn. So this guy, now when you want to work on it, you just go ahead and take that valve there and turn it quarter turn, and it's off. And then a quarter turn, it's back on, and so that's all good, tied back in. Monitor this for leaking, please. Back in here, you can see it's dry. So if you feel back on this nut underneath, right there, or anywhere on this nut, just monitor. If you see any water on the floor, or water on the baseboard, anything, give us a holler. We'll come out and take care of it right away. And then of course, brand new supply line. It's by Brasscraft, 3/8 by 7/8 by 20-inch looped around. And then of course we flushed all the water out of the lines before we hooked it back up to the toilet. Sometimes you'll turn it back on, it'll shoot debris up into the fill valve and clogs it, and now you got to repair on a brand new item. So anyways, everything's looking good. It's filling correctly, flushing correctly, shutting off correctly. Outside of that, this installation is done.